I keep coming back to the same disturbing possibility, and it starts with a slap that may not simply be a slap. It seems like Britt and Lulu could be pushed into one of the ugliest confrontations either of them has had in a long time, and I do not think this would be about anger alone. I think it could be about fear, guilt, motherhood, and the kind of blame that becomes dangerous when no one knows where to put it. Rocco is at the center of everything now, and the more I look at the situation, the more it feels like both women may be standing on opposite sides of the same nightmare, each convinced the other opened the door to disaster. I do not believe this conflict would happen quietly. It seems like Lulu has reached a point where she cannot separate what happened to Rocco from Britt's choices. In Lulu's mind, it is very possible that everything traces back to Britt. If Britt had not been connected to Jason, if there had not been that possible plan at the pier, if Rocco had not somehow ended up there, then Cullum might never have been shot. This means that Lulu may not be looking at the details anymore. She may only be seeing one straight line from Britt's presence to Rocco's trauma, and once Lulu locks onto that belief, I think she becomes nearly impossible to stop. But the truth could be much more complicated. I keep thinking about Britt's side of this because it does not seem like she would accept Lulu's accusations without pushing back hard. Britt may argue that she never told Rocco where she was. She may insist that she never called him to the pier, never asked him to get involved, never wanted him anywhere near danger. And if Britt was unconscious when Rocco fired the shot that left Cullum badly wounded, then it could be impossible for her to have stopped something she did not even witness. That detail matters, at least in Britt's mind. It may become the one piece of the story she clings to because it separates guilt from responsibility, even if Lulu refuses to see the difference. I think that is where the confrontation could become explosive. Lulu is not only furious about Rocco, she is also emotionally wrecked after her split from Nathan, and it seems like that breakup has left her raw in a way she may not want to admit. It could be that Nathan was the last person she expected to lose in the middle of this chaos, and now every emotion she has been holding back has nowhere to go. Britt walks into her path, and suddenly Lulu sees not just Britt, but every consequence, every broken trust, every moment where Rocco was pulled into something bigger than himself. No one expected that Lulu might actually lose control, but I can see it happening. I can see her anger becoming physical before she even realizes what she has done. And if Lulu slaps Britt, I do not think Britt simply absorbs it. Britt has never been the type to shrink back when someone attacks her, especially when she believes she is being blamed unfairly. It is very possible that Britt strikes back not just out of pride, but out of panic. If Lulu is coming at her like she is the villain in Rocco's story, Britt may feel cornered. And a cornered Britt can be reckless. It could be that the fight escalates beyond a single slap, with both women crossing lines they might later regret. I imagine it becoming messy, emotional, and frightening because neither of them is only fighting the person in front of her. They are fighting the idea that they failed Rocco. What makes this even darker is the possibility that Cullum is not as far away from this confrontation as everyone assumes. I cannot shake the thought that Cullum may be listening. It seems like he could overhear just enough to understand how fractured everyone really is. The accusations, the pier, the gunshot, Rocco's name, Britt's unconscious state, Lulu's rage, all of it could become ammunition. And if Cullum sees Britt and Lulu turn on each other, he may realize that the family is vulnerable. This means that the confrontation may not just be a private breakdown. It could become the moment Cullum identifies his next target. I think Cullum's mind may be moving in a much colder direction than anyone expects. If he hears Lulu blaming Britt and Britt defending herself, he may decide that both women are guilty in different ways. To him, Rocco may be the boy who pulled the trigger, but Britt and Lulu may represent the people who protected him, enabled him, or helped create the conditions that led to Cullum's suffering. The truth could be much more complicated, but Cullum may not care about complicated truth anymore. He may only care about punishment. And once someone like Cullum decides that punishment matters more than justice, everything becomes more dangerous. It is very possible that Cullum does not go to the police because he believes the system is already poisoned against him. Dante is Rocco's father, and Dante's position could make Cullum believe that no investigation will ever be fair. In Cullum's eyes, this may not be a town where the truth wins. It may be a town where powerful families protect their own. Whether that belief is fair or not may not matter. What matters is that Cullum could use it to justify doing something unthinkable. Instead of reporting what he heard, instead of exposing Britt and Lulu, instead of trying to put Rocco behind bars, he could decide that prison is not enough. That is the part that feels most chilling to me. What if Cullum has already crossed the line from wanting answers to wanting revenge? What if the injury changed him, not only physically, but emotionally? It could be that he no longer sees Rocco as a frightened teenager caught in a chaotic moment. He may see him as the one who destroyed his life. And if Cullum believes Britt and Lulu are protecting Rocco, then they may become obstacles he wants to remove. I do not think he would necessarily act immediately, but I think he may begin watching them, following them, waiting for the right moment, learning who is alone, who is distracted, who is emotionally unstable enough to be manipulated. I also wonder if Britt and Lulu's fight could accidentally expose more than either woman intends. Sometimes rage makes people say things they would never say under control. It seems like Lulu could reveal how deeply she blames Britt, and Britt could reveal how little control she actually had over what happened at the pier. This means that Cullum might not get a clean confession, but he might get something even more useful: confirmation that everyone is scared, defensive, and hiding pieces of the story. And if Cullum believes pieces are being hidden, then his imagination may fill in the worst possible version. I do not think Rocco understands how close danger may be getting to him. He may already be carrying guilt for what happened to Cullum, but guilt is different from realizing that someone may now be hunting him. It could be that Rocco becomes the emotional pressure point for everyone. Lulu wants to protect him. Britt may want to protect him in her own complicated way. Dante may believe he can control the legal side of this, but no one may be prepared for Cullum deciding that the legal side no longer matters. If Cullum's revenge takes shape in silence, then every person around Rocco may be reacting too late. What if the real danger is not the fight itself, but what the fight reveals? I keep thinking that Britt and Lulu may believe they are tearing each other apart over the past, while Cullum is quietly using that moment to plan the future. No one expected that their accusations could become a roadmap for revenge. No one expected that a mother's rage and another woman's defense could place Rocco in even greater danger. And the truth could be much more complicated than either Lulu or Britt wants to admit, because maybe both of them are right in some way, and maybe both of them are wrong in the one way that matters most. I feel like this story may be heading toward a place where blame becomes more deadly than the original accident. Lulu may believe Britt caused the disaster. Britt may believe Lulu is trying to rewrite the truth out of grief. Cullum may believe they all deserve to suffer. And Rocco, trapped between their versions of the story, may become the person everyone claims to protect, while also making him the center of the storm. It seems like the pier was only the beginning, not the end. It is very possible that the next attack will not come with a warning. It could be quiet, personal, and aimed directly at the people who thought the worst part was already over. So I am left with one question that feels impossible to ignore. If Cullum has heard enough to decide that Rocco, Britt, and Lulu all deserve punishment, who will realize the danger first? And will it be before he makes his next move?